Welcome to what might possibly be the final Gran Turismo Sport closed beta Specialtatin. If there doesn't end up being a second wave of the beta, or if I don't get in it, because there is rumor that there might be a second beta coming in August. And if I don't get in any good races Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, because I'm recording this Wednesday before the races. But if those end up being true, this will be the final Gran Turismo Sport closed beta Specialtatin. And today we have N300s at Brands Hatch Indy, which I know y'all seen a whole heck of a heap and actually sort of in a row too. But, well, this is the last one, and I think this race sort of describes the beta as a whole, so it seems good to cap off with a pretty good summary of the beta. To start off with sort of a summary of the beta is the drivers. The first place driver is really caught picking good, really caught picking fast, and uses the caught picking as fast in the scar of them all. The second place driver is me, and, well, I mean, y'all can judge me of how y'all have seen my videos, but, well, I would say I'm fine in qualifying, but not quite as fast in a race, and I'm not exactly the most consistent either. But then there is the third place driver, who's going to get beat by the even more impressive fourth place driver. The third place driver is incredible. The fourth place driver is... I went silent there for a reason, because there really ain't no way to describe the fourth place driver. Only in Gran Turismo are the drivers nice enough to be way faster than anybody else in the field, but then use a slower car to make the competition fair. That describes the beta pretty caught picking well as a pretty caught picking awesome drivers. That's, well, awesome, folks. So on to the race now that I've shown the drivers. First place driver is incredibly fast. I'm trying to be incredibly fast. We'll see how that ends up going, folks. We'll see how that ends up going. As of now, it ain't going too bad. I really don't think I'm going to make this pass on the outside there. And, yeah, not really. But, maybe I can keep second at least. I don't know. Given how fast fourth place is, though, of a driver, not necessarily the car, we'll just have to see, folks. We'll just have to see. I mean, y'all have seen in previous races with previous results that actually differ, so we'll see how this race goes. And that's another thing to sort of sum up the beta in general, is this is sort of how this race goes, and just the fact of these are the races that get shown more on a lot of channels, are the races with good drivers with good finishes. Which sort of sums up the beta good too. I ain't necessarily saying it can't be a popular video if a slower driver who ain't finishing as high if not as good at racing. This is more of what is shown, is the good racing with good drivers with good positions. Which is a good thing, honestly. This is the most fun racing can be. One of the bad things about the beta, though, is, well, you can get hit out of the way whether it's incidental or not, and it ain't your fault at all whether it is incidental or not on the other driver's point of view. And, well, it hurts your driver rating because then you're going slower in a race in general because you get hit out of the way and lose that spot to the possibly dirty driver. And your sportsmanship rating goes down because you made contact with a car, even though really it was their car that hit you. So, yeah, Gran Turismo Sport definitely has its flaws in the beta. The main game, we'll see if it gets fixed. As long as it does get fixed by Sport the main game, no big deal. In the beta, yeah, there's some definite flaws. The driver rating, it makes for some pretty caught picking good matching with some drivers, and really it's the drivers that makes the game. But as for how it's actually calculated, it definitely could be better. Sportsmanship rating, there ain't really all that much good I can say about it, honestly. There's not really much going for it. I guess it's accurate in the sense of the drivers with an S rating are cleaner than the drivers with like a F rating or an E rating or whatever they call it in this game. But then you also have some drivers that have an S rating because I have no idea how some drivers in this game have an S rating, but that's just how it is, folks. That's just how it is. But back to the drivers themselves. Well, I was going to get back to the drivers themselves before I got rudely interrupted with a stupid penalty that shouldn't have happened, which is yet another flaw. You can get penalties when you still have two tires on the track. As long as it's fixed by the main game again, I don't care. We'll just have to see, folks. We'll just have to see. So, if a penalty doesn't ruin my race and the sportsmanship rating doesn't go down from a driver ruining my race because they want a higher driver rating, the drivers are actually pretty caught picking good. Because, well, I mean, just look where I've showed y'all in the field. I mean, yeah, that driver in front of me was arguably dirty. There's drivers behind me who are definitely dirty. But, I mean, the drivers ahead of me who I've actually raced with truly and really, who I probably would be racing with truly and real if it wasn't for the driver in third, but are the best of the best and really what drives the game. The game itself, pretty flawed. The physics, though, make it to where the drivers can have a really fun time and good racing with each other. And all in all, I don't really care all that much about how well the game calculates all of its stuff and all that, or what it does behind the scenes with zeros and ones and all that. What I care about most of all is how well it's fun on the track with me actually putting input into the game. The stuff that I can't control, like how they calculate stuff, yes, it could be better, but all in all, the stuff that I can't control, as in the racing itself, is about the best there truly is. There are games with arguably better physics, but for how good I am with Gran Turismo, racing with the best drivers, to me it's the drivers that will drive the game. Pun slightly intended there. And really, while this probably isn't all in all the best simulator anymore, it has the best drivers and therefore has the best racing. And I mean, just look at that, folks. Gran Turismo really is about the only game where I've seen people give up positions at the end because they messed up. I don't even really know if that was dirty driving. It might have been an honest mistake, but nonetheless, he gave the position back anyway. And nonetheless, you have a driver that would have won this race easily, but decided to use a slower car to make the race more competitive for everyone in general, and more fun for everyone in general. So even though the game has some points that sort of make it less fun, such as driver rating, sportsmanship rating calculations, and the stupid penalties, the drivers themselves balance it out to still make it an incredible game. I know the beta itself is about how to test it to make the game better, but as long as the game has good drivers, I care about how well the game itself is, but if the drivers stay there, I'll still tolerate it and for the most part have fun. I've made a whole heck of a heap of complaints about the game, but other than a few outlier drivers, I try my best to praise the drivers who deserve it as much as I can. There's always going to be some bad apples in the bunch, but for the most part, Gran Turismo Sport has the best drivers of any game I've seen so far. And it's an honor to be racing with y'all, pretty much aliens. Especially mecha aliens. And it's been a joy to race with y'all. The game hasn't been enjoyable as the drivers who's been in the game, that's for sure. But all in all, I'd give the beta probably a 7.5. The game would be pretty much perfect if it didn't have almost game-breaking flaws. But if those get taken out, this game probably has the most potential to be a 10 of any game there is. And if those do get taken out, that's going to be an incredible combination. A good game with good drivers that's really all I can ask. And we'll see if that ends up coming, folks. And let's hope for the best. Maybe, just maybe, it will. And I thank y'all who've watched the videos. I thank y'all who's raced with me. And I hope y'all enjoyed it. And I know I've enjoyed it. And, as always, yeehaw!